happened?
There's literally no reason. The audio is up. Can you hear us now?
Do, 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 do,
Da, da,
do,
da,
do,
da, da.
do.
I think they could probably hear us now. I see.
Well, there's a good way to confirm it.
Yes. I think it was like a little bit unplugged, but just a little bit, because all I did was push that wire and it plugged in. Anyway, so Max was talking about something profound.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you got it. That's the way it is.
I'm gonna have some more margarita.
All right. Let me try again. Take two.
Wait.
Yeah.
And take two. Scene. Microdosing. Brad Sherman's Hamster Coin. Take two. And 3, 2.
I really like the way you slated me in there. It's so professional. I feel like this is big time podcasting now. Now, as I was saying just a few moments ago, and you can explain what this hamster coin's all about. I don't want to hear about it right now, but I got to find out about this. Look, I had a revelation. As a spiritual Bitcoiner, as Satoshi's representative here on Earth, as the bishop of Bitcoin, as Michael Saylor calls me, the high priest. I have these revelations. They come to me. They come to me at all hours of the day. I see things, and I channel things, and I understand something now that I hadn't fully understood just until the last 24 hours, and that is all about the Bitcoin singularity. You see, the idea, and I've been talking to the folks about this, developers, Bitcoiners, about this for years, about the target number, which is part, of course, of the difficulty adjustment. And we're going through the massive difficulty adjustment right now. We're going to see a downward revision in the difficulty adjustment of 25% or more. And a lot of people have been talking about that. And the difficulty adjustment vacillates essentially between 0 and 1. And the idea is it can never go to 0. It can go very, very small, and it's heading toward infinitely small. But it can't really go to 0. But the Bitcoin singularity is when actually the difficulty adjustment does go to 0, because that's where we're all headed. That means that energy consumption hit critical mass, or as Buckminster Fuller might say, critical path, and that it got to the point where all wasted energy was consumed, was gotten rid of, right? So Bitcoin doesn't use energy. Bitcoin forces humanity to use energy more efficiently. The most efficient use of energy is Bitcoin mining, or converting energy into perfect money and perfect price discovery. And so energy usage on planet Earth is about to collapse, just like we saw the difficulty adjustment collapse. We're going to see energy use collapse because we're getting rid of all the industries that are based on hate, like war, prisons, and media, right? The media is based on hate. So all these industries are going to be gotten rid of, and that means a lot of energy usage will be gotten rid of. And that means that we're going to see 0 on the target number, and that's the face of God. The face of God is 0 on the target number, and that's the Bitcoin singularity. That's when we all merge spiritually, our collective unconscious, with the Bitcoin protocol. We hard fork this reality into the Bitcoin singularity. Is a hard fork of humanity. That's where we're headed, the hard fork of humanity. And it'll be a glorious moment, and it's going to be happening in the next, let's call it the next, within the next decade. I would say we're going to have a global Bitcoin singularity and a merge mind of humanity with Satoshiism.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. The people are okay now with our audio. Okay.
Good.
Jeez,
I'm happy that people are good.
These complainers, like, they want professional audio.
They want sound.
They want sound
on their podcast.
Max, you do a good mime, though. We should do a silent episode, because there's too much noise in the world. Listen. There's so much noise everywhere.
Yeah. No, I studied mime briefly in New York City back in the late 1970s. With his first name was Klaus. I forget his last name.
Of course, his name was Klaus.
Yeah, he was a mime. And yeah, I studied this briefly.
I didn't know this.
I've seen Marceau perform mime on Broadway back when I was a little youngster. I've seen this. Mime used to be a lot bigger.
It's only the French who still do it.
Robin Williams started out basically as a street mime artist. So I used to see him perform his mime on the street back in the 70s. That was how he kind of got started. There's a very, very vibrant street theater scene in New York City in the 70s at that time. Many, many performers, including Robin Williams and others.
Well, I mean, mime to me is kind of just like one step up above the person who like paints himself blue or silver and stands in the square and like expects you to give him money for being dressed up like that.
Yeah.
And that segues perfectly to microdosing Brad Sherman's hamster coin, because that's even dumber than the guy painting his face all silver and painting his whole self silver, right? And standing in Times Square and expecting you to give him money. This is what we saw today in the congressional hearings about crypto.
Hey, can I just make one more comment about mime?
Sure, because it is all mime. This is what I'm saying. They're miming, that they have any idea about what they're talking about.
Well, not memes, but mime. But anyway, mime. Mime does. There is a lesson there in miming. Mime with negative space, right? So there's positive space and negative space, and so especially on the TV screen, it's space, and this is space that has to be filled because it's a visual medium, and so. Here are my hands, right? But what the area around my hands or the area around Stacy, that's not the space that you're focusing on necessarily. But your eye, your peripheral vision catches everything that's happening in the negative space as well. So you have to be able to deal in both. It's like Miles Davis said. They asked him what made him a great player. He said he plays the rests. Right? These are the rests. They're not the actual notes. It's all about that negative space, which is a whole Zen thing going on there as well.
Well, the one and only Max Kaiser. What the fuck? The OP imposters are in the live chat now? No way. No way.
Really?
Jesus.
What does that mean even?
So, there are constant imposters that appear kind of like mime, dumb mime with silver painted faces going, "Hi, I am Max." Even though you might see me live speaking right there, I'm in the comments and saying, "WhatsApp me, call me on WhatsApp." I mean, oh my God. Again, like this is Brad Sherman, the congressperson representing San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles County. He was being really incredibly stupid in congressional testimony where he said Ethereum is better than Bitcoin, Dogecoin is better than Ethereum, and HAMSTERCOIN is better than Doge, but the lottery is the best. The California lotto ticket is the best.
Right.
So here I'm saying that you have mime, and then you have this street artist who like paint themselves in silver or blue or pink or some other color, and they just stand there and expect you to pay them. And now you have Brad Sherman, on the stage doing that. But even worse are the people who pretend to be Max Kaiser while he's sitting here talking. And you're supposed to believe Max is tweeting.
Does anyone remember Greg Louganis?
Yeah, the diver.
Right,
Olympic diver.
Very famous during I forget which Olympics.
80s.
It's in the 80s. But imagine Greg Louganis stepping onto the diving board, missing the diving board, head crashing on the board, crumpling into a ball, falling into the water, and drowning. That's Sherman. What's his name? Greg Sherman? No.
Brad Sherman.
Brad Sherman. It's like watching a high dive, diver totally mess up, but doing it in a very public way. You're up there, your total focus on, you're up there 12 meters up in the sky or whatever on this diving board. You're about to do a triple, twisted in pike position, difficulty 9.7. You're competing against the world, and you slip and you crack your skull. Your brains are pouring out, and you flip over in like a car crash and hit the water, and there's a pool of blood. And that's Brad Sherman testifying about Bitcoin. He is. It's become like, I mean, if think of some of the car crashes. I mean, what if you were there and you saw and you saw the Porsche crash that killed
James Dean.
James Dean? What if you actually seen that? I mean, it would be remarkable. That's like watching Brad Sherman testify right now. You're watching a man publicly go through a gut-wrenching car crash of stupidity. And so for that, on the entertainment scale, it is amusing. And but it also shows that they haven't upgraded their FUD in a year or two. So they haven't done any work on Bitcoin. El Salvador is like going Bitcoin, hyper Bitcoinization. The whole region is going hyper Bitcoinization. 65 banks in America are now going to start offering Bitcoin through a deal with NYDIG and NCR, the ATM manufacturer. And this guy who was heard about Bitcoin 2 or 3 years ago and said something really stupid about it, he hasn't done any work on it at all. So number one, like, I'm a taxpayer, I'm contributing to his salary, and he hasn't done any work. So on one hand, I'm angry because he's wasted my money. But on the other hand, it's money well spent to watch a big, fat, bald jackass make a fool of himself in public. And I get to chuckle at this stupidity of this guy.
That's what I'm saying, is like, that's what I'm comparing him to, those mime artists, not meme artists. Meme artists are great. And they're, of course, in our live chat, they're the real ones. But those guys who dress up in silver and hang out in Times Square expecting you to pay them money, as if that's some sort of like amazing artistry to paint yourself silver. Anybody could do that.
Well, yeah. To be fair, though, we've seen these people all over the world. Right? Wherever you go in any major city, there's a person dressed up perfectly still in a costume, and people throw money at them. Now, it is difficult to do that. It is difficult to stand motionless like this, for sure. But what's bad, what the worst was? The guy we saw in Washington, D.C. outside of the White House.
Oh, my God.
He would stand on his box, motionless as a silver man, for about 10 seconds, and then get off and start harassing people for money, because he didn't have any patience to stand there and do the artistic version of standing still. No, he would be there for like 10 seconds. Then he'd get off and like, oh, I'm so tired. Give me money. And berate people.
And he played that stupid boombox, so we couldn't even record there. We had a professional film crew to record in front of the White House. And then like the copyrighted music, Brad Sherman, of course, is part of that whole copyright cartel out in California. He was the one that co-authored SOPA. Remember that legislation back in 2003 or 4, 5, maybe, like way long ago. But yeah, maybe like we'll use this as a moment. If Max holds still for 10 seconds and we'll get enough likes, we'll get to 250 likes, but we won't move until we get to 250.
I'm going to get my stand in.
He's going to get his stand in. Yeah. See, Max isn't coming back until you smash that like button, you get it to 250, and Max, oh, okay, that's cheating being still.
All right. There. I'll be perfectly still with my Max doll.
That doesn't ever really look like you.
It does look like me.
Oh, I mean, it is,
it's pretty darn close. It's that's a good doll. That's from a site called that'smyface.com, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure they're out of business by now, but
I have a bunch of those with different like Bernanke head and Hank Paulson's head, different bankers' heads. But I decapitated them all during this sadistic ritual of banker effigies, burning them and stuff like that.
I took out my, what do they call, magnifying glass?
Yeah, it's called a magnifying glass.
Because to look for those micropenis people in the comments.
Yeah.
But now, it comes in quite handy to try to understand the like very small thoughts of Brad Sherman, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like, because you like, is that a thought? Okay. we need to get Max's effigy out of the screen.
Oh,
so we need to get to
alright.
250 likes.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
I think so Max, you're supposed to hold still and not move until we get to 250
I'm not
likes.
gonna do that.
Then I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. Then I need to fill the space with some interesting podcasting content. That I went
Now-
to podcasting school at Adam Curry's podcasting school.
Does
and
he
I
have
studied.
Does he have a podcasting school?
I just made that up.
He should do.
It sounds like a good idea, though. It's like, hi, Adam. I'm Adam Curry, and welcome to podcasting. You know, like those. You could have a economics taught to you by Paul Krugman. Remember those courses? Or
Oh yeah.
Learn how to be a sculptor from Giacomo Giametti, and what was it called? It's something. New York
Master
Times.
course.
Masturbate. Master class.
Masturbate with the New York Times
Masturbate with the
columnist.
New York Times columnist.
They should do an OnlyFans site. They already have, people know about this situation.
Yeah, Paul Krugman should do an OnlyFans site where he basically publicly masturbates. I mean, that was the whole basis of that chat roulette. If you remember, chat roulette was an app that was around 4 or 5 years ago where men, principally all over the world, would masturbate to their camera.
That wasn't the intent of the site.
No, it wasn't the intent. No, but that's what it ended up being.
But yeah. People, it was kind of captivating. One time, remember, we sat there in that Paris cafe and watched for like 45 minutes. You just kept on swiping right, and it was just like screen after screen, like it was a roulette wheel. It
was a master class in masturbation,
and it would just be some people just sitting there like reading poetry or just like saying hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
And like every other one, at least, was a man masturbating.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to algorithmically filter out that content.
No.
Right? So it kind of died, unfortunately, because it was a cool concept to kind of peek in on people's lives all over the world. It was kind of interesting, but they couldn't get rid of the boner thing.
It's kind of the same as Twitter. That's the same concept. It's like masturbatory thoughts, right? Like, here's my dumb idea and I'm going to tweet it. So you have to read it. And it's like,
yeah,
ew, like, yuck. I didn't need to see that.
Yeah. Well, I think Twitter is sadistic. It's like Lord of the Flies played out over social networking. It's like it's just everyone, because there's no consequences for being an asshole. It brings out the worst assholes doing the worst assholey things. So, that's the thing. You need takes a while to learn the proper muting techniques, and I just mute every single conversation whenever I retweet or tweet something. I hit mute conversation immediately.
He does that to me too, so don't feel offended. It's
right.
like Max
so I don't see any respondents really. Don't see anything.
Right. So the congressional testimony today, the hearings were called America on Fire. Will the crypto frenzy lead to financial independence and early retirement or financial ruin? Right. It's not, this is so messed up in so many ways.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's messed up. That headline is messed up in 5 or 6 different ways.
This is let's talk about some of the ways.
Yeah, let's talk about the various ways that headline is messed up.
So, America on Fire. First of all, when I saw fire, like, my instinct is like my fire emoji that goes everywhere I go, right?
Right.
But I don't think they mean like, woo, hot.
No.
I think they mean
What do they mean?
I think they mean like fire, the fire sector, right? Finance, insurance, real estate.
I don't think so. I mean, because that's very subtle. Nobody knows what that means. They haven't talked about that in 18 years. That was a huge thing.
But for me, I personally, that's what I thought.
I know.
Like, I thought of how Congress, our politicians, our elected officials that we have to pay, even though they're so stupid and as lame as these silver painted people in Times Square. You have to keep on throwing them money so they just stop, haranguing you. So here they work. That's who they work for, right? Is the fire sector.
Right.
That is the entirety.
Right. So you thought it was the fire sector.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. It's like the fire sector.
When I saw it, I thought, oh, you know what? The Pacific Northwest and New England are having apocalyptic heat waves.
Yeah.
America's on fire. I thought they were referring to the reality of the fact that people are dying through heat waves.
Okay. That would make more sense because they kept on turning to energy FUD. So Brad Sherman was like saying, and others, they were saying like that it is Bitcoin that is causing these fires. It is Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining which is causing climate change and stuff like that.
Is that so? In other words, they say America on fire, then they make a reference to cryptocurrency, and you're surmising that the reference to cryptocurrency has to do with Bitcoin's use, the energy use.
Yes, because that's what they were focusing on.
And that's what, in fact, they were talking about.
They were asking lots of questions. You saw that in that moment with Peter Valkenburg. Like he was laying out a good case of why we Bitcoin and the importance of Bitcoin in terms of censorship-resistant sovereign money.
Yeah.
And the congresswoman, I didn't see who it was, but kept on trying to interrupt him, saying like, I want to get to the energy. I want to get to how much carbon dioxide carbon emissions you guys are causing.
Okay. So right now we understand what the connection is. They had hearings and they were focused on Bitcoin's energy use.
Yes.
Okay. Now Peter made the case that 2 points. He said, first of all, right now Bitcoin's energy use is about 1/5 that of the legacy financial system, the current financial system, that it can replace, that it is replacing.
Yep.
Number two, they make a common mistake by equating energy use with transactions. And he pointed out, look, the Lightning Network that is on top of Bitcoin, you can bundle millions and billions of transactions and you're not adding to the energy usage. Right. So he made those 2 points. So at that point, the debate should have ended and they should have all gone home. They should have all said, oh, thank you for coming in. We were wrong. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you. But no, they went on and on and on and on. But those are the 2 main points, that Bitcoin replaces the fiat system, replaces the central bank system, and you save 80% of the current energy usage. That sounds good to anyone who wants to reduce energy usage. And number 2, it's it's a completely misunderstood to connect the energy usage with transactions, and that of course would put the kibosh on anything that's trying to be competing with Bitcoin, like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Ether, Cardano, XRP, the 5 fingers of stupidity. They all came about thinking they're faster, they do stuff better, it's more, it's all that stuff.
Those things are like, those are the guys in Times Square who don't even paint themselves silver. Like they just like, they have their ass out or something. Like who's that the naked cowboy?
The naked cowboy, yeah.
Like that's not anything, right? All you're doing is naked and you put on a cowboy hat. That's
he has a big diaper and a cowboy hat on.
Why should we give you money for that?
Well, he plays a little guitar. But that's right. So the hamster coin, he should have said, to be accurate, if he had said, if he replaced hamster coin with Bitcoin Satoshi Vision or Cardano, I would have said, okay, right on, Brad Sherman, you're making sense about shit coins. Okay, he understands shit coins better than he understands Bitcoin, because shit coins and fiat money are the same thing. He hasn't yet grokked Bitcoin. He's not even close. He's not even anywhere in the same continent. And he probably never will, because he appears to be mentally incapacitated. But
here we're looking for his
well, that
some
guy
original
Peter,
ideas.
Right, that guy Peter was good though. I thought he's really good. He's from Coin Center. Where's he from? New York. He's in DC.
He's from Coin Center. Yeah.
Right. He's really good. He does great. He's right there in DC. He does testimony.
Somebody loves their cowboys naked in the comments.
Yeah, sure. Naked cowboys. Has anyone ever seen Kinky Boots? That show that was on Broadway, and then it's a very, very popular show.
No.
Harvey.
This is a cool story, bro.
Harvey Weinstein, I think.
No, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, Harvey.
The guy, I know the guy you're talking about, the Broadway star.
Yeah,
right?
No, he's like a producer guy. Harvey, not Harvey Wallbanger. That's a drink from the 1980s. Harvey, I'll think of him. He I think he's a
somebody
creator.
will Google it for us.
Yeah, somebody will figure it out.
So
here's
another tweet about the hearings from Nathaniel Whittemore. He said, one of the more ominous lines from the memorandum of this House hearing on the crypto frenzy is that experts say Bitcoin could present systemic risk to the traditional system.
Right.
The expert they reference, Jim fucking Cramer. That sound you
What?
hear is me having an aneurysm.
Well, you know they're just gaslighting us now.
Yeah. Okay. Like, let's put Jim Cramer in Times Square. Who would he be in Times Square?
Elmo.
Oh, the Elmo guy.
Yeah, he'd be big Elmo doll that walks on groping people.
Oh my God. So the Elmo, there was a big scandal, right? They had to arrest a whole bunch of Elmos.
Elmo got arrested.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no, there was like everybody came out as Elmo because anybody could get an Elmo outfit, right?
Yeah, it's super popular, Elmo. And he was in Times Square. There's all these counterfeit Elmos.
Yeah, the counterfeit Elmos.
Yeah.
And everybody was complaining. All the locals are complaining there were too many Elmos.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like the shitcoin market, right? Like
Totally.
there's a whole bunch of forks of all the, Bitcoin, and then a bunch of the shitcoins forked each other. And then like there's all these like fucking Elmos running around, and you just got to annihilate them with getting wrecked. Get the people wrecked. Let the people get wrecked. Let them like throw money at that dumb silver, painted person.
Let them get wrecked. Let them get wrecked. Yeah. So Brad Sherman is bleeding some nonsense. He thinks Jim Cramer is an expert, and he doesn't understand what's going on. I think that's for as far as the Americans' strategic interests are concerned and what's valuable for national security. If America doesn't get into the hash war pretty quick, and they're going to be severely at a disadvantage in what's happening. So this guy Brad Sherman, he could go down as somebody, an obstructionist who got in the way of America kind of maintaining its place in the world. And he's like the Bill Buckner of Washington D.C. If you remember, Bill Buckner played on the Boston Red Sox and ended up losing the World Series for the Red Sox by letting a simple ground ball trickle through his legs. And they lost the World Series, and he became his whole career was based on that one mistake, that he was a complete idiot, and they lost the World Series. So Brad Sherman is really the Bill Buckner of Congress, or whatever he says. He's
Congress.
He's a congressperson.
Yeah.
He's the Bill Buckner of congressmen. And 20 years from now, people will be playing this videotape and saying, "This is where America finally bit the dust. This was the play that caused America to fucking go under, because this fucking moron like China giving away all the mining." I'm like, who's stupider, Brad Sherman or China?
Well,
that's the question.
He compared the U.S. to China. He's saying we should do what China does. We've got to keep pace with China. China is close to banning all cryptocurrencies. If we fail to keep up with China, we will fall behind. So he's saying we've got to follow what China does. But also, by the way, like two things. Like I said, he's as dumb as any of those performers out in Times Square, painted in silver. And here he is, as dumb as that guy in Times Square, but he's like a guy in Times Square painted silver saying we should get rid of Broadway.
Right.
That Broadway is unfair competition to our shitcoin and our shitcoinery and our bad performances out here. They're showing us up. And of course, the only reason why people even go to Times Square is because of Broadway, right?
That's right.
They go to the performances and they have to endure part of the cost of not
right.
only
There's going to be a remake of Sweeney Todd with Angela Lansbury at the Beekman Theater in the Theater District of New York, packed to the rafters, booked months in advance. And there's Brad Sherman complaining that nobody's listening to him bleed on about his highfalutin nonsense.
That's what I'm saying.
They should shut all of these shows down. Who wants to see any of these Broadway shows when I can be standing here on my soapbox uttering these idiocies?
Well, painted silver.
Yeah. He's messed up in the head, man.
I think the congressman from Ohio, Warren Davidson, had a good reply to that when Brad Sherman was saying we should be more like China. He said, "I'm reminded of Proverbs 26:4, so I won't spend longer on Sherman's comments." And that proverb reads, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him."
Yeah, right.
So that's a pretty good diss. That's like, that's proper comedic response. Like you could do the comedy club and
Preston Byrne was suggesting I should give testimony.
you should you
I
should
should
get,
go to Washington. Max goes to Washington.
yeah, in that outfit.
I should be giving testimony on Bitcoin.
Do it.
I'm one of the oldest
Well,
OGs in Bitcoin. No
well,
one's had more influence on Bitcoin than me. I've spread it around the world with Stacy. If they want to know what's happening with Bitcoin, have me do testimony in Washington, D.C. I'll bring Robert Duvall as my co-counsel, reprising his role from The Godfather as a consigliere for the Corleone family. And I will tell those people what they need to know about Bitcoin. And I'll orange pill the entire panel. By the time I give my testimony, every single one, including Brad Sherman, is going to be on the Swan app, dollar cost averaging Bitcoin. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to orange pill those motherfuckers, and they're going to be buying Bitcoin till their hands bleed. That's my job. That's my role. Put me in front of the Senate. Put me in front of Congress. Let me talk to them. Let me talk to those people. I get them on the right foot. I get them understanding where Satoshi is all headed.
of course, you are free to go in front of the White House with the crazy guy.
I have done it. And remember the Secret Service that was out there, and I was tearing up my dollars, as I usually do. And people were freaking out, like, arrest this man. He's destroying government property.
That was just me. You still referred to people.
I didn't want to say you were the one trying to get me busted.
Well, yeah, that's another long story. Jake Stravinsky, who is
He's a lawyer.
He wrote, "These congressional hearings are pretty demoralizing for those of us working on U.S. crypto policy. These are real issues of national strategic importance to work out. Huge opportunities to capitalize on, but we're still stuck on surface level criticisms and distractions. Exhausting."
Yep, that's a nice lawyerly tweet. Nice. They pay by the words, aren't they, these lawyers?
Oh, true. Instead of saying,
like
F you, Brad
F you,
Sherman.
Brad, you cuck. That's the right response. But no, this fella, this lawyer dude, he's got a whinge on. A lot of words, man. Who needs all that? Concision, brevity. That's it.
Oh my God.
Am I right?
Am I right?
Where's Perianne Boring? She's the official Bitcoin lobbyist.
I think she was there.
It's part of the Bitcoin. What do they call that? The Bitcoin lobby group in Washington. The Bitcoin something.
The Bitcoin, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. The digital currency. No, that's the other thing. So will HAMSTERCOIN displace Ethereum? You know what? I thought he just made that up, but there is a HAMSTERCOIN.
Yeah. I think it was actually put together by the guy who starred in Officer and a Gentleman.
Okay, we won't go there. But the thing is that I think it was just another joke coin, right? It was a joke, and now it's become real.
Yeah.
But let me read a few comments. Smash that like button. This man is on fire today. I think I might make it literal. If I light
me in gasoline and light me up. I want to go down, speaking the words of Satoshi.
It's very 70s.
I've seen the promised land. I've seen the Bitcoin singularity. I've seen the difficulty adjustment adjust to zero. I've lived it. I've seen it. I've been there already. This is all just repeat. It's on a loop. Everything's on a loop for me. I've seen it all already. Richard Gere. That was the guy's name.
Honey, I know we all know who it is.
No, but these youngsters might not know all.
They're all saying Richard Gere.
The jokes from the 20 years ago.
They're all saying it, and it's Harvey Firestein.
Harvey Firestein, yeah. I think he was involved in that show Angels in America.
Yep, he was.
This was during AIDS awareness.
He was in Birdcage, right?
No. That was the guy who was in the remake of The Producers. Robin Williams and that guy.
Right. Sorry, look it up. People tell us who it is.
Really like a New York theater guy for toiling for years in New York, and then that role in La Cage aux Folles really he turned him into a much bigger star, I think, at that point.
Somebody will tell us. So, You know what? Speaking of hamster coin displacing
Yeah,
Ethereum, gold heads for its worst month since 2016.
yeah.
Biggest monthly drop in more than 4
Well,
years.
Peter Schiff is like the Richard Gere of gold, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to, for him, it's not about hamsters and Richard Gere involving an anus, but it's about taking gold over a national border, smuggling, involving gold and an anus.
Yes,
Right. So you got Richard, where the Venn diagram of Richard Gere and Peter Schiff would converge on anus as it relates to the hamster coin of the precious metals world, that being gold.
True. You could stick it up your ass.
Right. You can stick gold up your ass, and you can stick hamsters up your ass. Allegedly. Richard Gere has never said that that's true.
He's never
so
said
I
it's true.
assume it's just a
meme.
It's what we used to call
gossip
or urban legend.
Urban legend.
It's who knows why that was all started. Probably I
think it started on a sidewalk. Somebody had chalked it on a sidewalk.
Yeah, that was an early meme.
Yeah.
It was an early meme. Something that's preposterous. Like before 4chan, there was the Richard Gere hamster meme, which didn't spread through the internet, but spread through, gossip, people talking about it. It was
gossip in Hollywood. I was working there at the time, and I swear to God, I saw it in chalk on the sidewalk.
Right.
So I was just like, that's how I first saw it. It was like, I was just like,
you started this.
No,
I started the Richard Gere. I was just walking to go
get. I was just going to get my coffee, and there's like Richard Gere puts hamsters up his butt, and I was like, do I need this before I get my coffee?
Were you holding a piece of chalk at the time? And it was cognitive dissonance. Like, who just wrote this with this chalk?
No.
What? Next thing you know, it's an urban legend.
No, it wasn't. It was just I saw it on the sidewalk.
Oh, so. All right. It's like a bad Simon and Garfunkel song.
I saw
on the sidewalk a rumor about Richard Gere's hamster.
Simon and Garfunkel.
What about?
I have to say, the funniest podcast I ever heard was Paul Simon being interviewed by Alec Baldwin.
Oh, that was remarkably unsettling.
Because Alec Baldwin there with his NPR voice, hi, I'm here with Paul Simon. Hey, Paul Simon, so tell me about your time with Simon and Garfunkel. And Paul Simon's like, what is this about anyway?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me these dumb questions?
He was totally lost. Like he just wandered in off the street. Like he had been doing mime in Times Square as the Silver Man. And they popped him in front of a microphone with Alec Baldwin, who was doing his NPR voice of Alec Baldwin. And he was totally lost.
And it was so awkward.
If you listen to that podcast, Paul Simon, Alec Baldwin, you'll be like laughing your ass off because he's obviously has no idea why he's doing this.
He obviously was told by his agents that Alec Baldwin's coming over.
Right.
And he probably just thought like, Alec Baldwin, okay, this movie star, 30 Rock, he's coming to talk to me, whatever.
Right.
Maybe he wants to have me compose something, who knows? And suddenly he's there with his little, microphone.
Right. Right, the schedule said at 10:30, Alec Baldwin. So he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, I know who that is.
Why are you doing this?
And he shows up and he's like, so when you were in Simon and Garfunkel and you were writing Bridge Over Troubled Water, how bad was the acid during those days? Was it Orange Sunshine? What am I doing here? Why are we having this conversation? I don't know why you're even asking me any of these things.
It was like Paul Simon was like that guy who showed up at the BBC to be interviewed for a job in the IT department, and then got put on the evening news, and they thought he was the Apple stock price expert.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a really weird interview. he is obviously somebody came to him and said, are you here for the interview?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm here for the interview. And they're like, okay, come here. And they mic'd him up, and he's like, this is really unusual. I've never had an interview like this.
Yeah. The person's like, that didn't ring a bell.
And then
like, oh, that's great. It's okay,
BBC
Giles. You're fine. You'll be fine. You'll spot of makeup right here. You just go out there and talk to Mr. Paxman about Apple stock. It's fine.
And his bug eyes, like when the woman's like, so Apple shares are falling by 20%. Do you think it could fall further? Yeah, perhaps. Like, I think it's like their products, I don't know, it's not really great. You don't think their product is great. I don't like their MacBook right now. Look, but and it was just like that was like Paul Simon in that
Yeah,
podcast.
he was totally lost.
He was like, why the hell is this Alec Baldwin? He looks like him. They told me he was coming.
My
Like,
old friend, I'm with Alec Baldwin again. I don't know where I am or what he's saying. I haven't write a hit in over 10 years. Kodachrome gives us the lights of summer. Gives us the bright.
okay.
That was an awesome song.
But
I
no,
must say.
actually,
Kodachrome?
Max should keep on singing until we get to 450 likes. Yeah, until we get
taken off the air. That's a
But
copyright violation.
They won't take you down if they don't recognize.
They won't recognize
that. If
that.
you sing so out of tune.
I do such a poor job on these songs. I don't get taken down. That's the key to my success. Everyone else, fidelity, the hell with that. I sing it so off key, censors don't bother me. Algorithms don't recognize me. I'm invisible to the man because I'm Satoshi.
Somebody says to remember to take your orange pill suppository.
Definitely don't forget. Orange pill suppositories are key. This way you can sneak one, during the day, just pop one in and you're good for the whole day. You're going to be singing like Paul Simon, confused with Alec Baldwin, mishmashing Kodachrome and some other hit from the 1950s and give it a doo-wop sound. That's what you're talking about. That's when Satoshi comes into view. That's when you see him. He's a mirage at first, and then it's all flesh and bone, and then he's inside your soul, and then he's converting you, and then he's upgrading you, and then you're evolving, and then you see Brad Sherman on stage pooping like that other politician who shit his diapers during a debate 4 years ago. What was that guy's name?
Oh, it wasn't Chuck Schumer. It was, who was that other guy?
Yeah, that other guy, Nancy
God.
Pelosi.
Jerry Nadler.
Jerry Nadler fucking shitting his diapers on stage. There's Brad Sherman like sniffing his diapers on all fours because he's a coprophagist who likes to eat shit while he whacks off. And there's Nancy Pelosi fucking skin falling off her face and cashing those checks from all the insider trading she's doing. It's a fucking nightmare in Washington. That's why we need Bitcoin. Am I right? I mean, am I talking out of school? I don't think so. I think I'm hitting the nail right on the head.
Can you guys still hear us? Can you see us? How we've been taken down?
Is the sound on or off? I don't know. I never know. I got no headphones. How am I supposed to know? I don't hear shit.
This is like the insane asylum here.
What?
Max thinks he's doing a podcast. You guys kind of gave it away. You're like, I can't fucking hear you. I can't hear you. It's like Max could see that and knew stuff is happening. You got to keep it quiet.
Kodachrome, give me the bride.
Oh my God.
It was a hot song, man. It's a great song. What was the song what was playing when they first had sex? I can remember the song I first heard in high school when I was having sex for the first time.
People liked your little rant there, They liked it. Oh my God. I feel kind of high, like from that. From
really?
Your spoken word thing there.
Yeah, I have that effect on people. It's called religious fervor, ecclesiastical delight. When you touch the hem of God and you see the 11 dimensions played out simultaneously in real time, you are uplifted and you have the Bitcoin singularity. Hits your third eye. Then the orange pill that's sitting in your sphincter from the suppository activates. And your extremities start to radiate light. It's stigmata. Bitcoin stigmata is different than what we know in the Bible. It's light, right? So the stigmata for Satoshi is that light comes out of the places where Satoshi touched you or where you were persecuted by trolls on Twitter. The light comes out with your Bitcoin stigmata. That's the difference.
Oh, Jesus. Don't move your face because you have a nice expression. Shit, you moved your face.
Well, what can I say? I'm not one of those mimes trying to be still for 30 minutes. I'm animated. I've got blood coursing through my circulation.
Pretend to be a tourist in Times Square.
Yeah. Okay.
Be a tourist in Times Square. You know, did I ever tell you? Yeah, I told you I got picked up by King Kong.
Times Square? Really? That was his name? Was that one of the pimps from that movie, The Deuce? King Kong picked me up in Times Square. Boy, did I have quite a night that on that occasion. Boy, I don't know where we ended up in some flat in New Jersey.
I can't do this anymore.
Holy mackerel!
I've had too many margaritas.
No way.
Actually, I just had one, but it's hitting me. It's because I had 3 coffees this morning.
Yeah, 3 is not enough.
3 is too. No,
3 is dangerous because it's
too much.
It's it's in between too little and too much. You got to either, if you're gonna have 3, you need to have 6.
What's wrong with you today?
No, if you have 3, you got to go to 6. If you go stick at 3, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, the caffeine it's not enough to take you to that place you want to be. So you got to go 6. Like me, just to be safe, I have 6 coffees right away, and then I have my regular coffee, my real coffee. The first 6 are just to get me in the mood to drink a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's true. Like when we were living in Paris, Max was a bit even more over the top than
right, because of the espressos. Literally, I would have 20 espressos a day.
Yeah,
20 of those. Yeah.
Too many.
Probably, yeah.
Stacy is a happy drunk. That is true. I just laugh. One time I got I must have been 18 or 19, maybe 17, and I was,
pick a number, anything between 17 and 19. You know, get a range. You're late teens. The late teens.
I smoked some marijuana.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's when it was very illegal. Like now that's not edgy, right? Because back then it was illegal. Now it's like legal everywhere.
Yeah,
but I smoked some, and then I went to like a McDonald's or something. I went to a fast food thing in the food court
You got the munchies.
at the mall. Yeah. And I went to order a drink, and they had the stack of paper cups, like large, medium, and small, to see what size. And one of them was on the display on front, like the paper cup had fallen down the front of the display.
Yeah.
And I said, your cup is on the display, I was trying to say. But I just started laughing so hard and was like almost on the ground, rolling around laughing. And the guy was just looking at me like, dude, this is just a McDonald's. It was the classic scene of like, ma'am, this is a McDonald's. You know, at the drive-thru, and I couldn't order. I had to run away because I was laughing so hard. And it was the funniest thing that that's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Really?
It's just a paper cup. Like I was like a baby, right? Babies just laugh at shit. And then they think like you just putting on a wig is the funniest thing or something, you know?
Well, I'll tell you, the hardest I ever laughed, it was, I was in the East Village, and I had taken some shrooms. And this was back in the, I'd say 1980. 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a man spread out on the sidewalk on his back, like completely spread out, arms and legs completely spread out. His dick was sticking out of his pants, and he was peeing like a fountain. And I totally lost it. I could not stop laughing for a good hour or so.
Oh my God. Well, is there a shroom coin that you could stick up your bottom? You know, we're keeping this on the whole topic of Bitcoin.
Yeah, they had those back in 2013, you know, during the early years of shitcoinery. They had shroom coin and a lot of these other things.
We should take some shrooms and all smash by. Who wants to, you know, I'm kind of smashed. So we could go smash by together.
That's right.
Literally.
So it goes together.
Who's ready to go smash by at swanbitcoin.com/orange pill?
Oh, where's
because they're the
Swan?
sponsors of this
Yeah, they
degenerate
sponsor
program.
this. You know, they were up until about 5 minutes ago.
Fortunately, they don't watch this, so they
Yeah.
don't know what they're sponsoring.
Yeah, Corey's still on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Even though everyone's left. No one's at Clubhouse anymore except Corey Clipston. There he is. He's on Clubhouse, and he's all alone. And he's sure that this is going to be the next big thing, but it's completely empty. Woo! All right. But swanbitcoin.com/orange pill.
Who wants to smash by with me?
You get $10 of Bitcoin just for registering, right? So you'd have more Bitcoin than Jim Cramer right now. You'd have more Bitcoin than Dave Portnoy right now. just
Dave
by
Portnoy says he still has 1 Bitcoin.
okay, you'd have some. Okay, well there it is. So if you smash by a lot, you'd have more than Dave Portnoy, right?
Exactly. You could smash by as much as that.
You'd have more Bitcoin than Brad Sherman. You wouldn't have more Bitcoin than Cynthia Lummis, though. She has 5 Bitcoin, according to an interview she just did. She's a senator from Wyoming, and she keeps it real. I mean, that woman, she led with her heart. She,
I met her in Miami.
yeah, Bitcoin was resonating with her. She's hard money. She's from Wyoming. They believe in freedom and everything that's American. And so she went with it. And now when she talks about Bitcoin, she's totally confident and comfortable, and she's on point, on brand. That's so great. It's just great to see. And that's who's going to be president of the United States.
Cynthia Lummis. She
Cynthia
hung out with the
Lummis.
plebs. She was just sitting there with us, you know.
Yeah, we were at a dinner thing, the night before. That was put on. I met Spencer Schiff, and then I saw Cynthia Lummis. She, did her best to kind of avoid me. I noticed.
Yeah. Most people would avoid you.
I would
She
head
doesn't wanna-
over there with my plate of barbecue, and she'd kind of get up and like move.
She doesn't. She's aiming for the White House,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she knows like if she's stood next to
You
this,
can't take your photo with me.
that's going to be the
White House.
opposition ad. It's going to be like, and here's a photo she took with this deranged person screaming on stage.
When's the next election? 2024?
Yeah.
All right.
okay,
So
hopefully there won't
Cynthia
be
Lummis,
any.
she has to declare.
Hopefully we'll be beyond nation state,
She
and
can
it'll all just
declare her
be
candidacy hopefully in the next year or so. I'll vote for her. Not that that's going to sway anybody.
my. My hair is still. It looks purple. I see. It looks pretty cool. I like it purple. So in 2 days, the
Yeah.
Bitcoin network will automatically retarget a new mining difficulty, just like it has hundreds of times since 2009.
Yeah.
This will be the largest downward adjustment in its history in both absolute and relative terms. Bitcoin's heart keeps beating. It is expected for the difficulty adjustment to go down by 26%.
Right. So we've been in this for 10 years. We've never seen, nobody has ever seen a difficulty adjustment revision, downward adjustment as big as this.
We're all newbies. We're all in this together
It's all
right now.
newbies. That's the great thing about Bitcoin is that it's fresh every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no such thing as somebody who really knows everything about it. You're reading a Jameson Lopp tweet, and he famously said the first thing to know about Bitcoin is that nobody knows anything about Bitcoin.
Yep.
And there's a lot of truth to that. And so here's something raw and experiencing for the first time.
Yep.
And so how do you deal with it? If you don't, nobody knows what to expect. Technically, that's true. It's a complete unknown. That's the fact. So you have to approach it with faith that things are going to work out. And that's a lot different than fiat money, where it's all about fear. Everything about fiat money is based on fear. Everything about Bitcoin is based on faith. And you move out of fear and you move into faith. You move out of becoming a debt-aholic to becoming a saver. You move out of the vagaries of central bank policy to the absolute certainty of Bitcoin. You shift, you make a move. You're orienting your soul toward a different point in the constellation of Bitcoinery. The North Star of the soul naturally points to the Bitcoin singularity. So you have to just adjust yourself accordingly, and then you are imbued with the light of Satoshi, and you start to emit the light stigmata that I mentioned earlier. Light comes out of your various holes where the trolls have touched you.
Light comes out of your holes where the trolls have touched you.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Have you told American HODL about this idea?
I don't tell American HODL anything. The guy is a badass. I'm intimidated. I saw him at this. I think I saw him. Didn't I see him at the Miami event? I think I saw him there.
That's what most people say when they encounter American HODL. They say, "I think I saw him."
I think I saw him. Yeah, but
he was there.
Yeah, he's like totally. He's like a wild buffalo on the plains, from just like going full speed, and you wouldn't want to get anywhere in front of that if you can avoid it, because you're gonna end up flattened out. The guy is a freight train of energy, just powering through the FUD and the trolls.
He's way better than one of those men who paint themselves silver and stand on a box in Times Square.
Yeah, he's not a cuck.
That's no energy. That's zero energy. Like that's what went wrong with this country.
Yeah, they're all just standing around.
It's like France did it first. It's in Paris is where you see most of those people who just stand there painted and just expect money. And the government gives them money.
Those are senators you're talking about.
No, but like the Fête de la Musique and all these like nights to give like these otherwise unemployable people some money from the state, right? Like that's like that. I think those people get money.
Nuit Blanche.
Nuit Blanche, yeah, and they stand around. But then it came to America, and then it started, and then
I think you're totally missing the point here. The Fête de la Musique is about
I know
everyone who's got some musical ability in their local community to pull out the banjo and the guitar and just play some music right out there.
Well, I thought of it because I saw Pete Doherty was performing at Fête de la Musique because I think that's the only way he makes money.
That's the only way he'd give him a job, yeah.
But he's gained like, he's up 3x.
Oh no, you want the Axl Rose way?
Oh no, way worse. Like
worse
way bigger.
than Axl Rose?
Yeah.
Worse.
Axl Rose is just a little bit bloated, right? Like from whatever.
He's pretty bloated.
Yeah.
You know.
Pete Doherty, his hair is as white as yours.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a wig though. I think
the Libertines, they were an excellent group in their day.
They were. Unfortunately.
Yeah. He's a good poet, a good lyricist, good musician, but couldn't handle his heroin.
He's no Keith Richards, right?
He's no Keith Richards. It kind of makes sense because he's a bit more delicate than Keith Richards. Keith Richards is like the American Hoddle of rock musicians. He's indestructible. You know, how many times has American Hoddle been banned from Twitter? 8 times now?
Like, how many times? I'm so sick of following him. Like, he's just like, every week I have to follow him.
You got to work. It's proof of American Hoddle.
Proof of American Hoddle.
Right, you got to find him. It's work. It's worth it, though, because of the way he eviscerates people, tears them to shreds. It's inspiring. You know, people say, hey, Max, why are you such a hard ass? Why do you rip people a new asshole all the time? It's like, because I take after American Hoddle. That's my inspiration. This guy, you want to see somebody tear someone limb from limb on Twitter, that's the guy to follow. He knows what he's doing.
Everybody's too soft in this whole fiat dark ages, right? Like,
yeah.
Like when Max was doing stand up in Times Square, and
Magic.
Robin and Magic. Okay, Magic.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever you want to call
Well,
it.
it's not stand up.
Well, and Robin Williams was doing mime.
Yeah.
You know, there were like Times Square was pretty rough, and New York City had 3,000 murders a year.
That's right.
And now it's like 400, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's up 40% from last year." And it's
that's
like,
right,
dude, it's still down like 75%.
Right, it's Hard Times produced what does it go? And
Great Men.
Great Men. So the Hard Times of the 70s produced Great Men of the 80s. Great Men produce
Soft Times.
Is it soft times?
The good times.
Good times.
Soft people.
And then the good times breed soft people.
Yeah.
So the 70s in New York were the hard times. And we had a great 1980s, and New York was great. That's when I was there.
There was still a very high murder rate.
Stock. Yeah, it's cost of doing business. You know, I whacked a few guys. I mean, not directly, but indirectly. You know, it wouldn't. It's like $5,000.
Hip check somebody in front of a subway.
Oh, yeah.
That's acceptable. That's like
that's fine.
That's considered justified homicide.
Bar brawls. That's nothing. Stabbings. But you know, that's the way it was. And then it became Disneyfied in the 1990s when Disney kind of bought up all those properties, and Broadway became like Disney musicals turned into Broadway shows, like The Lion King. Became a Broadway show, and then it's like infested with the bridge and tunnel crowd. You know, people coming in from Long Island with their families to see The Lion King, and then they're hanging out in Times Square and looking at mimes dressed up as silver robots, not standing around, and then they give them $5, and then that guy goes down 42nd Street and 8th Avenue and picks up a dime bag and shoots up in the alleyway and overdoses and is never seen again for the rest of eternity. And then they go back to Long Island, and it all works in a beautiful cycle of theatrical, heroin, Lion King, and Disney. This is what Roy Disney first imagined when he created Disney. Guys overdosing from smack in the alleyway in Times Square after watching some family from Long Island watch The Lion King. It's all full circle.
Apparently, Alex Jones has a nipple on right now.
Really? Yeah, it's a
Maybe
nipple.
this is a new shit coin, nipple coin or something he's promoting.
It's on where? It's on his forehead, or it's on
I don't know.
he's on what?
They're talking about, but this is the thing: is like everything is, you know, stuff used to be real. Like what, like Times
Yeah,
Square
yeah.
before the silver painted people. You know, it was funky. It was freaky.
Oh, it's funky, all right.
It was really freaking weird. Now it's just like people dressed in silver and like, give me money. And that's no fucking show. That's not a good show.
Well, it's kind of falling apart, right? Because all the tourists are gone because of the lockdown.
Yeah, but even then, even like 2019, it was still shit, right? It was
Yeah,
compared to the 70s, what you
yeah.
would see there. Like you just walk through Times Square and then like try to wipe it out of your memory of what you saw. Now it's like the same thing has happened on television. So you have saccharine. It's become very saccharine again. We keep on going through these cycles. So we did that with, remember, family values, moral majority. They when we had in the 70s and early 80s just three options for television in America, the network channels, ABC, NBC, CBS, and then they were all sponsored by advertisers. And so the moral majority and the family values people wanted everything to be nice and like, you know, sort of nuclear family, and the mom stays at home and all that stuff. Like if it weren't like acceptable to them, then they would boycott all these, like get these religious people to boycott the advertisers. Now it's come full circle because it's the opposite, right? It's the liberal and the progressives and the left who are the ones organizing boycotts against, right-wing people or conservative people or people who believe in family values.
Right. So Rachel Maddow is the new Anita Bryant.
Yes. And it's so it's come full circle, but they're targeting what they're targeting is primarily social media. And obviously Alex Jones is kicked off all social media. Even if you do an interview, I saw some podcasters had done an interview with Alex Jones recently. They live streamed it on YouTube, and then it got taken down.
Right.
So he's not allowed to be on there. Trump is not allowed to be on any social media. So they've cleansed it. They're doing the same thing that the family values moral majority of the late 70s, early 80s did, and throughout the 80s, really. And then, so I think like we need this, what happened to end that tyranny, you could call it, of the moral majority and family values sort of targeted boycotters is HBO. So you had cable, and remember HBO in their early days, that's after first they did some fights like boxing stuff to get some money, and then they started using that money to finance edgy content. And the moral majority family values people did raise some heck, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is bad programming, evil doers on here, and they were like, what are you gonna do? We've got subscribers.
That's right.
So it seems like that we need a disintermediation on that same sort of regard, because YouTube, Twitter, all of these, Facebook, they rely on advertisers, and advertisers are easy to get to say, we don't want to sponsor anything remotely controversial at all. Nothing. Just talk about hardwood floors and, turtle wax, something very simple. Yeah.
Apple pie.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying there needs to be an HBO equivalent for Twitter. So it's a subscription model.
Something, for social media, video, audio,
for
content.
Video.
Content.
HBO content, video. So
social
why
media
doesn't
content.
HBO itself get into being the HBO of content?
That's a good idea. They should be doing
because
that.
Remember, Ted Turner invented cable news network, 24-hour news, and did CBS do that? Did NBC do that? Did ABC do that? Nope, none of them did that, even though they could have very easily done it and cashed in and made billions of dollars. Ted Turner said, I'm going to do 24-hour news. And all those big networks said, that's crazy. No one's going to buy 24-hour news. You're an idiot. He launched it, and he made a lot of money. Then he lost it. He sold it for a stock swap for AOL back in the 90s, and 80% of his net worth was evaporated within 2 years. That's another story. But nevertheless, why is there no equivalent for online content? Why is there no HBO or Prime Video for original? There's OnlyFans. OnlyFans is mostly porn, but OnlyFans, they want to go public, so they're actually starting to wean themselves off porn. right? So they're trying to get away from porn. Same thing with, remember, I think it was Instagram was heavily into erotica for a while. And then when they were acquired by Facebook, I think that got pushed aside to a large degree. But OnlyFans, isn't that the equivalent though? I mean, can't people, why doesn't Alex Jones have a show on OnlyFans? It's pay to play. He can do a show and he could build up a huge audience.
He likes to take his shirt off.
Right? I mean, it's not all porn. I think there's a lot of porn on OnlyFans, but I think it's just basically it's a pay to play online content service that's nobody can censor because there's a lot of stuff on there that would ordinarily be censored. It's pay to play. Why doesn't he do a show on OnlyFans?
Well, I think we're basically going to have to return to more poetry and content of of censorship resistance. So you saw that in the gulags of Soviet Union. Like you get your message out the way you can, and since Bitcoin is censorship resistant, I think there will be something that emerges through there. You could you can send messages in the blockchain that can never be deleted. So I think you'll see a new form of content creation because video is really expensive, and you need the servers, you need the all sorts of, you need Amazon or web services like that. So it's so easy to get you deplatformed, even if you have no advertisers. So they don't need to boycott your advertisers because you don't have any, but they could target all the things: your internet service provider, your storage, your host, like all that sort of stuff. So your payment provider. So I think we'll see.
I guess that's the truth. I guess the reason why is that actually in the case of Alex Jones, they were attacking the server farms at Amazon and saying that you can't
host this content.
You can't host this content. So I guess that's the answer, is that the level of censorship is really insidious and digging deep into the bowels and the infrastructure of our telecosm, as George Gilder wrote about in the 1990s in his book Telecosm.
Are the frogs gay by now or what? Yeah. Oh my God. That clip gets played. There was somebody who made an amazingly funny mashup of that.
Right. Who's more offended by that statement?
Who's more offended? What do you mean? Oh, like gay people or
frogs?
Or frogs. Well, I think what he was trying to say is something that is true, which is that all the chemicals, especially in farming, all the pesticides, they have endocrine disruptors and basically estrogen, and it does alter, like you see the frogs in the bay in like Maryland or something, like they're a whole bunch of intersex sort of, all sorts of weird stuff going on that
very weird, like the four little frogs doing like the Village People singing YMCA. I was shocked when I saw that, and I'm like, that's an endocrine disruptor if I ever saw one.
That is better than the guy painted silver, right? I'd pay to see that.
Definitely, that's the way it goes. So there's always a business opportunity, no matter what.
There's always a business opportunity. Well, right. So we have, a few moments here before we go, because we like to do our microdose a little bit longer than our full dose.
Oh yeah.
This weekend's full dose, I'm thinking I might actually publish it on Saturday because Sunday is 4th of July. And, we just did an interview with Greg Foss, and I think it's interesting stuff. And so I'll try to get it out Saturday morning at 7 a.m. instead of Sunday morning. And then as we are heading to Austin, Texas next week, on Tuesday, we're flying out there. What I was thinking of doing is we do our microdose on Monday afternoon instead of Wednesday, because Wednesday I'm driving out to the Bitcoin mining facility. And Max might in the afternoon be on Alex Jones. So that's the thing is, so what do you think of that schedule? Saturday morning, Hiccups. Saturday morning.
I'm sorry. I wasn't really listening. Can you write it down and send me an email? I anything that requires like data. That's I can't possibly process that. No, I need text.
Do you see what an asshole he is?
I need text. I'm a text whore. What can I say? I need text. I can't verbal.
I'll put a message in the blockchain for you. I'll send it via.
Send it to me on the blockchain. Put it in the block height. Send it over in the next block.
God Shave the Queen.
God Shave the Queen.
That's a good one. Love Greg Foss. Yeah. I think we just had a good interview, good conversation with him.
Yeah. Very interesting.
I'm gonna take some more photos of Max.
Mm-hmm.
Just just watch this. Oh, you know who taught me? What's that other guest of ours? He wrote.
Preston Pish.
No, The Price of Tomorrow.
Oh, The Price of Tomorrow. That's
Jeff Booth.
Jeff Booth.
What we remembered.
Oh yeah, I don't remember Jeff Booth. Price of Tomorrow.
We remember nothing.
I can't be held accountable if I can't remember.
Don't move your face. I'm laughing too hard. So this okay.
So speaking of Jeff Booth, how much time do we have? Any time?
We have all the time we want. Like
no,
we're our own boss.
Off.
Like we're gonna sign off, but we'll wait until we'll wait until you're done with this.
Well, it might not be worth it. How much time have we been on? How long have we been on?
We've been on for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's probably a good length of time. I can save this
Okay.
my Jeff Booth story for another time. For the next episode of Microdose with Max and Stacy. Music written by Simon and Garfunkel, starring Sean Lennon, Max Kaiser, Stacy Herbert. Choreography by Harvey Wintergarden. Directed by Abel Ferrara. Associate producer Norm Finkelstein. The editing by Shecky Green. Stay tuned for the next episode. Until next time, bye, y'all.